What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Lovestruck podcast. As always, I am Michael, accompanied by my lovely wife, Anna, aka the Lovestruck Queen, aka the star of the Coffee Shop Diaries, where she goes around Dallas and tries every coffee shop around, kind of gives you her own review on it, just kind of talks about life and what's going on that day, and yeah, she really enjoys it. And it's a podcast that I definitely support 100%. Over here in the Scobie household, it is spooky season.
Yes.
So my wife is going to kind of share a little bit about what she is sipping on today for this episode.
Oh, yes. Yes. So I don't know if every episode will be sipping on something, but I will say this is a boozy one. We're going to get litty. Just kidding. This is one of my favorite things. It is a margarita wine cocktail.
Ooh.
And this one is called, well, the brand is Rancho La Gloria. This is a limited edition strawberry with a little sugar skull. That's why I got it. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes, we're going to be sipping on this. Kind of reminds me. I mean, I got this at Winco for like $6.99. So, you know, cheaper than a margarita at a restaurant, which we still go out and drink sometimes. But what's better than drinking at home, right? Don't have to drive after. It's cheaper. Exactly.
Now, while you're pouring that up, I just wanted to kind of start off by sharing a little bit about what I would say is one of my best Halloween memories.
Yeah.
This one is from probably my early teen years after I was done trick-or-treating and after I was starting to volunteer a little bit more with churches, kind of working sound engineering, and also teaching classes, vacation Bible school classes to young kids for like the first, second week of summer, just really enjoying my time and bonding with them. After I finished up trick-or-treating for just my own personal life, or not life, but just me doing the trick-or-treating,
Yeah.
I decided that I was going to start to volunteer at at one of the churches that I was working at, working in their sound booth, and man, it is a process. So we start probably the morning before Halloween to set everything up because we have bounce houses, we have to build stations, we have to go out and we have to find like little pools, little games. We do most of the kind of gathering of supplies the day before, and then the day of is whenever everything starts to get built and prepped up in the parking lot. Well, it was probably around like 6 or 7 o'clock, and the year before was the first year that I had taught Vacation Bible School, and thankfully, or not thankfully, it was really nice because that Halloween, I got to see every single one of the kids that I taught that previous summer. I got to see kind of how the year had been treating them. They all seemed to remember me. They ran up to me, Scobie, Scobie, and always just kind of really loved talking to me. And of course, I love talking to them because I spent a little bit of time with them. I got to learn about them. I started to care about them. And it was honestly probably one of the most memorable ones that I had. Do you want to share your most memorable kind of Halloween?
That's so sweet, baby. I love that.
Yes.
Well, to be honest, I don't have any Halloween memories that are super memorable, I guess. I mean, I've never been that crazy into Halloween. Like, I know everybody's all about, like, oh my gosh, you know, like, a lot of people, like, even adults nowadays, which is fine. I'm not trying to, like, say anything, you know, that it's bad, but I'm not as into Halloween as I am into Christmas. But I am into Halloween. Right, especially because, like, Christmas is my absolute favorite, all-time favorite holiday and time of the year. It is the most wonderful time of the year. And, but Halloween, I mean, obviously as a kid, it's about the candy, right? At least it was for me. Like, what kid doesn't love candy?
Ooh,
so
candy.
I remember my parents would obviously take my sisters and me to, you know, trick-or-treating. Like, every year we went to, like, the school fall festivals. Every year we went trick-or-treating. Sometimes trunk-or-treats, too. Like, my mom was very involved, very, there. So, like, she wanted to do all the things with us. So, like, we did all of that stuff. So So that was always fun. Sometimes we'd have like a friend of mine come along with us or whatever. And then once I started getting older, you know, sometimes I'd go out with friends or like have them over, stuff like that, you know? And now as an adult, like, I have a son, so we do stuff with him, you know? So it's still a good time, and I just enjoy, like, you know, yeah, just walking around trick-or-treating or have him trick-or-treating.
This year I'm teaching him how to ding-dong ditch.
I've done, oh my gosh, babe. Please don't. And then no teeping or anything. I'm not allowing that stuff. My child and husband, my children and husband will not be doing that.
That she knows of.
So, yes. But, yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. I like Halloween. I like decorating, too. I mean, we have our little setup here, you know. Like, I love all the... Yeah. Oh, yes.
Little sugar skull.
And of course,
gotta love it.
Of course, Dia de los Muertos, which is something that, you know, Mexican tradition follows, and it's basically a day to remember our loved ones who have passed and kind of like offer them just like offerings like food, you know, bringing a picture of them to an altar and stuff like that. It's something that is important to our culture, and I love that. Apparently, cities around, like, you know, the Metroplex, DFW, actually also have, like, little celebrations, like, in their parks and stuff like that. So we're probably going to go to one of those. Yeah. To celebrate, gotta honor, gotta celebrate that, too.
Oh, yeah. And if you don't know about Dia de los Muertos, watch Coco.
Oh
That'll
my gosh.
teach you just about
Love
everything you need to know about it. I've never seen it, but you gotta watch Coco. Like,
we will. We will, for sure. I love it. I love it. It's so cute. But yes, that's kind of like, for me, yeah, I don't have anything that really stands out to me. I just remember the good memories. Like, every year going out, seeing, like, all the decorations, you know, enjoying, like, we had a certain, like, area that we would hit up, like, every year. And then when that kind of, exactly, right. And then whenever that kind of, like, started, I don't know, changing or just, you know, we moved on to a different area. But it was always a good time. Like, we'd come home afterwards and dump out all our candy on the carpet and like look through it. My parents always said, make sure you don't have any open candy. If there's anything open, throw it away, you know. And then we were allowed to have like 2 or 3 pieces that night. And
you
then
didn't have
like
to pay the candy tax?
I mean, not that I knew of. My parents probably snuck in there and grabbed some.
You lost 8/3 of your candy in my house. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of like our, you know, that was kind of what I did for Halloween. And then Dia de los Muertos, of course, we kind of like observed as well. So
Yeah. What would you say has probably been your most favorite costume that you have been able to have for Halloween? Child and adult life, if it's been like an adult Halloween party, or if it's been just trick-or-treating with your sisters and your friends when you were a kid. What's probably your most favorite one?
Honestly, my favorite one, I think, and I don't have a whole lot of pictures of it, but it was already when I was like in college. I was at Richland, and I dressed as Wonder Woman, and I felt like so myself. I was like, hell yeah! Like I felt like I looked real cute, and like I don't know, like my hair was perfect, and like I had the little like, you know, not crown, but like the little thing she wears around her head.
Tiara.
Yeah.
It's a tiara.
Yeah, and then like the little corset, you know, is that what it's called? And it had like sequins, and then it was really cute.
Okay.
Yeah, and like wore the boots. Yeah. I think that was probably my favorite. What about yours?
So one year I dressed up as Wonder Woman, and I had the corset. No, I'm kidding. No. Probably
so silly.
One of the few ones that I could actually remember was from the first Halloween that I could actually remember. I was in elementary school, and it was a Halloween party for my school and / my Boy Scout troop, because I was a Cub Scout ever since I was a kid, kind of intermittent. I'd go all about it, and then I wouldn't go for a little bit and go all about it. But during that first Halloween party, we were at my elementary school, which was really cool to kind of be there after hours and all that kind of stuff. And
I bet it was.
Yeah. I dressed up as a Darth Vader because I loved Star Wars and Toy Story as a kid. Those 2 things were my absolute favorites. Well, I mean, and Pokemon. Of course, you can't have that on your arm. I don't know if y'all can see it or not. I don't.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, and what probably made it so memorable was that I was one of two Darth Vaders there, but I didn't have my cape. I somehow lost it between the car and the cafeteria.
Oh,
So yeah, I didn't have my cape, so I was walking around and like I left kind of my breathing thing on while I was walking, so it sounded like I was breathing normally as I was like sprinting around. Yeah, just kind of going around with my friends. So yeah, no, that was probably that's probably my favorite Halloween costume. I know whenever I was a little bit older and I hit like that 13, maybe 14, and I was just kind of done trick-or-treating. I did do my little last year where I wasn't really going to trick-or-treat that year, and I like kept telling my family, like, no, I'll stay in the car, but I have the world's worst sweet tooth. Like, it doesn't matter what type of candy it is, I'm going to at least try it, if not finish the whole bag. So I had some blue hairspray in the car, and I had some shorts and like a short sleeve, like button down type thing. And I had like a surfer shirt on at the time. So I was just like, yeah, cool, let me be a surfer. That year, it was a cold Halloween. So shorts, flip-flops, and a short sleeve shirt was not a good idea. I understand why people would dress up in the full costumes.
Yes.
But yeah, those two were probably my favorite store-bought and DIY. Have you ever done like a DIY costume? Or?
Yeah. So, oh my gosh. So yes, I remember. I think, and honestly, I don't know if I think I remember. I have terrible memory for a lot of things, but I think one year my sisters and I just kind of like threw sheets over our heads because it was like a very budget, tight year for us. So like we had to like kind of get creative, and so we still wanted to go trick or treating, and like we still wanted to dress up somehow. And I know there was this one year where I think one of my sisters wasn't dressed up or something, and like we were, and then this one guy was like, well, it's trick or treat, so you got to do a trick since you're not in costume or whatever, or you don't get a treat. And I was like, the fuck, dude? Anyway, she had to like, I don't know, he asked her to like dance or like do a cartwheel or something. I don't fucking remember what he said. I thought it was kind of weird, and I was like, dude, it's trick or treat, like,
right?
Not
Give me
trick
the treat,
or treat,
or
like,
else I'm gonna get a trick.
People dress up for like fun, okay? Like shit, just give this kid the candy. She was young too. She was like 6 or 7. I can't remember. But anyway, so we're like, okay, we gotta dress up. So we just like threw sheets over our head, cut out the holes, and like that was our DIY. As far as like for Lino, like for my baby, like I haven't really ever done a DIY for him. I've always bought it. I wanted to do a DIY for him this year. I don't know how that's gonna work out because it's already so close and it's been so busy for us. So who knows? But he wants to be Meowth this year, so we'll see how that works.
Yeah.
So
He's becoming a Pokemon
I'll have
fan.
to get really creative. He is. He was resistant at first, but he's getting into it now.
Yeah. That actually reminds me of last year's whenever he was Marshmallow, that DJ. I was probably one of my favorites, just Halloweens in general, because it was the first Halloween that I had an actual family, like my wife and my stepson, where we were able to kind of go around and do that kind of stuff, and it was a really, really fun and memorable time. I definitely won't forget it. It was...
That's true. It was very special. That would be my favorite, probably.
Yeah.
Because, like, where I enjoy everything with my baby, like, now it's, like, the three of us as a unit, like, it just makes it just all that much more better.
Much more better.
Better. The bestest.
Now, I do want to kind of talk on Dia de los Muertos, but before that, just to kind of go into our little spooky season style, I know Anna has had a few supernatural encounters and experiences, so she kind of wants to share a few of those.
Oh my god, yes.
I love hearing about this kind of stuff. It makes the hair stand up on the back of my neck.
Oh my god, yes. And if y'all have any stories too, please feel free to share. We'd love to hear about that stuff. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
So I will say, I actually shared this post on Facebook yesterday that I saw. Was it yesterday? I think so. But it said, like, I love spooky shit, but, like, if you pull out a Ouija board? Ouija board. I'm going the fuck home, and I'm like, that's me, but I have to admit, I did use one as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really know, I guess, I knew what it was, but I didn't know, the intensity of it. I just kind of knew what it was because I was like 10 and I was over at a friend's house. She pulled it out. She's like, you want to play? And I was like, I don't know. And she kind of pressured me.
She's like, bet, I got some phone calls to make.
No, so she basically, like, I don't know, again, just immature tween stuff. Like, she was like, okay, I think she asked it, like, the name of her future husband or something. So then it gets to asking the question, and I didn't know what to fucking ask. So she went ahead and, like, said, okay, well, let's just, like, ask, what is going to be Anna's future husband's name or whatever? And I swear, I feel like I remember it was a J name, but I'm pretty sure it was James. And that is one of my Lovestruck King's names.
Middle names, yeah.
Yes, it's his middle name.
I have 4 names. Y'all
Yes.
might learn them over time, but I have 4.
Yeah. But yeah, no, so I was like, oh shit. So be careful with that stuff, y'all. I don't mess with that shit now as a grown up. I've seen too much, I've heard too much. I don't do it. No. But yes, so basically, I remember I do remember being in Mexico one time. I went to see, like, my grandma and my aunts and stuff like that. And I can't remember how old I was. I was maybe, like, 8-ish, I think.
Ocho, Spanish, cuz.
Sí, ocho. Y estaba en Mexico. So I was in Mexico visiting family. And Evie wants to be in the video. So I swear, it was so trippy. Like, it was so creepy because, like, we went to bed, you know, it was 11-ish, whatever. You know, Mexicans, we stay up late, we party. So anyway.
She was 3?
Yeah, and I was like, it was during like the summer, you know. So I was spending like a few weeks over there, and so we were going to bed late, and then I remember just being in bed, and I had like one of my aunts was in there, one of my cousins, and then my grandma was like in a different room and stuff like that, and then out of nowhere, this like bright light just kind of starts shining into like all the windows, and I'm like, what's that? That's weird. And then I kid you not, like,
no,
oh my god, no, seriously, I start hearing like a wailing, like it starts like it just no, babe, no, baby, La Llorona, it was La Llorona, okay, like, because it lasted for like 5 minutes, but felt like an eternity for me, you know, being a kid and like being terrified, and like my cousin had like, or my tia, I can't remember, like they had like grabbed me and they were hugging me in a corner like of the room, and we were both just like looking outside, but like trying not to look, but it was just like really, really scary and creepy and loud. And then afterwards, like it's like just stopped as suddenly as it started. It stopped, and I was like, yeah, and I was like, what was that? And they were both like, that was La Llorona. And I was like, stop.
Or El Cucu.
Like, no. I was like, this is supposed to be a legend, like an urban legend, a myth. Like, no. What the fuck? But I believe it because, like, it was straight up, like, happening. And it was loud. And there's no way anybody, like, planned that or staged that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in the town, like, we kind of, like, walked outside. And, like, people were, like, outside in the street. And they were, like, kind of, like, all, like, looking around. Everybody was freaked the fuck out. Trippy shit. Oh my god, so scary. But anyway, then I have another one.
Yes, no, please.
Because, you know, I mean, I don't know my life. But
Pero like.
Yes. So the other one was a time when my parents were like separated, and I had been staying with my mom. I mean, I was living with my mom officially, but then I had to like change schools, and I hated it. It was a really bad school. I had like metal detectors, and then I felt like super out of place. Like everybody was staring at me. Everybody was cliquey. Nobody wanted to like, it was in high school. So I was like 14, 15-ish, 15 probably. None of the girls wanted to talk to me. All the boys looked like they wanted to eat me. I was like, ugh. Like, I was like, I felt so uncomfortable like the 2 days that I went. So I was like, I can't do this. So I moved in back with my dad so I could go back to the Richardson schools and where I grew up. And so like, I went, you know, I was living with my dad, and so it was just him and I in the house. And I remember it was one night that I was like, I had gone to bed, he had gone to bed, everything was like lights out, everything was quiet. And then I start kind of feeling like I'm laying on my side on the bed, you know, like it was on this side. So like I was, yes. And then I start feeling like a heaviness, like on me, like on my shoulder, on my arm, kind of. Like somebody was on top of me, and I was like, what? So like I opened my eyes, and there's nothing, right? There's nothing there. But immediately, like this kind of like sense of dread starts like coming over me, and I'm just like, okay. And I try to kind of ignore it, but like a few seconds later, I kid you not, the blanket starts being pulled from like where my feet are. Like it just started kind of like sliding, and I was like, nope. I jumped out of the bed. I ran to my dad's room. He was just across the hall. So I knock on his door, and he opens it, and he's like, what's up? And I was like, you've got to like help me. Like I can't sleep in my room. I was like, I need to sleep like at the foot of your bed, or like on the floor next to your bed or something. I was freaking the fuck out. So he's like, okay, well, let me go see. And so he goes to try to investigate, right? He goes to my room, and there's like nothing, right? But I told him, bah, like this happened. Like I'm not even kidding you. Like this is ridiculous. It was terrifying. And so he's like, okay, let me go grab something. He used to keep holy water in a jar in the house, because we grew up Catholic. I'm no longer Catholic at this point, but I grew up that way, and so like he had holy water in the house. That doesn't mean I deny like certain like beliefs and stuff. So basically what happened is he grabs a jar of holy water, takes it to my room. I mean, I was walking with him. There was no way I was staying alone. So like I walked back into the room with him, and he kind of just like stands on my bed, dips his hands in the holy water, and starts like sprinkling it on my bed in the form of a cross, y'all. Okay? Not even kidding you. And he can attest to this. We can ask him. He starts sprinkling it on the bed, and I swear every time that the water like touched my bed, right outside my window, like my headboard was against a window, like right outside the window, there was like a cat like screeching like it was getting murdered. Like it was ridiculous. Like it was like shit, I'm getting chills just like thinking about it again.
Goosebumps.
No, like it was legit like an experience. Like I had some type of shit in that room. There was something in that house or in that room. Like I don't know what it was, but it was terrifying. And yeah, I mean, for a couple weeks, I didn't sleep alone. I was like, sorry, Pops. Like, I'm going to sleep, like, on the floor in your room. I'm going to be in a little sleeping bag over here. I was terrified. Like, after having, like, experienced something like that, like, I just couldn't be alone for a while. I was like, no. It was terrifying. But yes, those are my supernatural experiences. It was very scary. Yes.
I mean, I've had stuff like sleep paralysis. One time whenever I was younger, my sister, she had some friends over, and I was sleeping over on the couch. And I guess they decided to come over to try to mess with me, but I was knocked out cold. They hadn't even touched me yet before my eyes just kind of like shoot open. I can't move a single muscle in my body. They said it looked like my eyes were like rolled back as far as they could, and that I was just breathing like real heavy, like almost as if I was angry or about to like run for something. All I remember in that moment was just kind of trying to move. That's all my mind was trying to go for. It's just like, all right, like even if you can move a finger, be able to say anything, just to be able to like let them know that you can't do anything. Like, but I couldn't, and all I could do was like breathe heavy. It freaked them out, and like I kind of came to about 5, maybe 10 minutes later because the little girls were screaming in their room while I was sitting there trying to just put myself back together.
Oh my God. Oh, that's scary. Yeah, I've had sleep paralysis too. It's really not pleasant. I'm glad I haven't had it in years, because knock on wood. Because I hate that. It's
same.
Like if you feel like there's actually like a presence with you in the room, even though you know it's sleep paralysis, it's like look it up if y'all don't know about it. It's basically kind of just like your body.
It's a demon sitting on your chest.
It feels that way for sure, baby. Yeah, I can't remember how to explain it, y'all. Look it up if you want.
Sleep paralysis demon.
I have seen some really creepy illustrations of it though, like of the like kind of like symbolizing sleep paralysis, and it's basically like a really gargoyle like demon just like on your chest, and that's honestly how it feels like. So creepy.
Yeah.
Not
like,
a fan.
Lay down, put like 3 cinder blocks on your chest, and try to breathe and move. Like that's about like how it. Yeah. But Halloween is a time for.
Bless you.
Thank you. Halloween is a time for ooky spooky and haunting and all that kind of stuff, but it is also in other cultures a time of celebration. In the Hispanic culture, and I know it's funny, the white guy explaining the Hispanic culture.
Baby, you're married to a Mexicana.
That's true. That's true. I've embraced
you
this
have
life
the
for
right.
a long time.
Yes.
But it's a celebration. We're celebrating the people that have passed. In my opinion, it's to kind of also celebrate the people that have paved the way to help us get to where we are now. The people who have turned us into who we are. I mean, I wouldn't be here if my father weren't here. My father wouldn't be here if his father weren't here. His father to his father.
Our ancestors.
Our ancestors.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we have to celebrate them. We have to keep their memory alive, because if not, their existence just doesn't anymore.
Yeah.
So,
no.
I've never personally been a part of a Dia de los Muertos celebration, but I think you have.
Yes.
Do you want to kind of walk us through on like how it is from like let's kind of go with the day of, like you wake up in the morning, and then I know that you'll have to like follow a certain. Yeah.
Well, basically the ones that I've been a part of, I think I've been a part of one in Mexico, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, she says straight from the source. Oh,
And then
let me kind of rewind myself a little bit here before you start. Whenever I said I've been about it for a while, I've really loved the Hispanic culture. I grew up around like a lot of Hispanics, so that's kind of the culture that I embraced the most, really. Like all of my friends were, like that's just kind of not who I became, but what I embraced and what I actually enjoyed.
Yeah. Now you're married to me.
Yes.
Yes. So basically what we did is, like, obviously everybody, like, all the tias and abuelas and everything wake up early, and, like, I think everybody was, like, cooking, or people started cooking, like, the night before even, and, like,
Tamale.
Exactly.
Mofongo?
Tamales, pozoles. No, baby, mofongo's Puerto Rican.
Oh, my bad.
You're good. Tamales, pozole, like, all the good stuff.
Queso frito.
Pan dulce, you know, like, all kinds of, oh
some
my
pan
God,
dulce
yes.
with some, like, sweet coffee?
Yes.
Ooh.
So basically we would, So basically it would be like in the morning, you know, drinking chocolate, hot chocolate, or like coffee, comiendo pan dulce, like, oh my God, all that delicious stuff.
Comer.
Mm-hmm. And then my grandma actually used to live, she lived, her house is, I mean, not even a mile, a few kilometers away from a church. So like, it was like a Catholic church where, you know, my family went to and stuff like that. And basically, yeah, everybody cooked and stuff, and then we kind of just walked it over at a certain time, because there was like a mass and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So we stayed for like the service and stuff like that, and then there was like an altar with like candles, like we could light candles and stuff like that, and then bring up the offerings, bring a photo of like our loved one who had passed, or loved ones who had passed. It's just really a time to like reflect on and celebrate their life, really.
Mm-hmm. Now you bring the picture of them to kind of like to symbolize that's what you're celebrating. You bring the picture, you light the candle, so that way in the afterlife they're still there. They can still enjoy their afterlife. They can feel the connection and enjoy the party in their afterlife. Is why you bring the picture to celebrate them specifically.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So that was one that I remember, like, in Mexico for sure. And then here in the United States, whenever I've, really, I mean, it's just kind of been at home, like, my family kind of just, like, reminiscing and, like, making food, of course, like, really good food, and eating it and stuff. I mean.
Yo, hold on. I'm also going to give a small little plug. Since she said that her family makes really good food. Her mom is fully vegetarian, won't even think about, like,
shout out to my mama.
bruising an animal. But lately, she has been making full vegan tacos, Beyond Meat, Impossible Meat, chicken, corn flour, all that kind of stuff. And they are very reasonably priced. They taste absolutely amazing.
So good. Oh
I'm someone who can't not have meat. I have to have meat with every single meal. It has to be the primary substance of what I'm eating.
Yes.
But with those,
yeah,
I'm like, this is good enough.
Oh my
Throw a little
God,
bit of rice
so
and
good.
beans on top of them.
Which she also makes herself. So.
Yes. So,
yes.
if you're in the Carrollton area, hit us up on our personal socials, and we will definitely get you that info, so that way you can get some of them. But
But yes,
Dallas. Yeah,
you want to
Chaos
hit
in Dallas.
Yes, you want to hit us up. Yeah, it's okay. Like we'll hit us up and we'll connect you or like we'll have
We'll get them deets.
Yeah, for sure.
Use code me to give me 90% of the proceeds. I'm kidding.
90% of the food, please.
Right?
Yes. No, but yeah, no, she's in Dallas, baby, and it's like 30 minutes away from us. But I mean, hey, if anybody that's closer to us wanted to order, like we could grab it and deliver it to them, you know?
Yeah, for a small delivery fee of $99.99. 99.
No. We'll talk about it. Send us any requests you may have, or if you wanted more information. I do post it sometimes. Yeah.
But I'm sorry, go back to your story. I
No,
just
you're
wanted to
good,
give
baby.
that little plug for your mama.
Yeah, no, thank you, baby. That's great. No, but that's about it. I mean, that's really all that, that's what it is. You did a really good job of explaining it. And, yeah, I mean, I definitely have some loved ones that have passed, whether it's been friends from, like, my high school that I, knew for years and were really good friends, friends with and stuff. And then of course, my grandparents, 3 out of the 4, have passed. And then my uncle, he was absolutely amazing. And I think about him all the time. And so, yes, it's a very special day for us. Yes. And I look forward to celebrating this year as well. We're going to go to, one of the events close to us. I don't want to say where, but
Yeah.
Yes, I love that our towns like around us like celebrate that as well and have a whole deal where they'll provide like candles, they'll provide everything, and like we can just bring a photo and stuff like that. So
say a little prayer.
Yes.
Enjoy a little party.
Yes.
Hi.
Yeah.
Well, I think that is all the time that we have for today. Thank you, of course, as always, for joining us on the Lovestruck podcast.
Yeah.
Just a few moments. I just want to kind of make sure that y'all go in to watch the Coffee Shop Diaries. What day is that? Every Wednesday?
Thursday.
Every Thursday at 7 p.m. So
check it out.
Check it out. And, of course, my live stream is going to be coming up starting next week. I'm going to go ahead and put the link for my Twitch channel down at the bottom of this description. For those of you who are listening in on Spotify, twitch.tv/Schoby_do. That's SCHOBY_DOO, like Scooby-Doo with an
Scooby-Doo,
H.
but
Yes, and one O.
SCHOBY.
I'm going to be over there playing Minecraft, Skyrim, Baldur's Gate, just about any game that I can think of. Of course, board games with our friends, with my wife, with my stepson. Just going to have overall an amazing time, and we hope y'all have a happy Halloween. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Happy Halloween. Y feliz Día de los Muertos.
Oh, Spanish.